It's like I know I don't have a vagina, but it still hurts, and I can't explain it. Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Rough Raw Uncut, behind the same take look of everyday life, starring me, myself, and I, alone in my apartment. It's fine. I mean, I've been single for almost 2.5 years, and I'm still going back and forth with my ex all the time, but it's fine. I'm fine. It's okay. I can move on. Anyway, but that's besides the point. Topic for another day. But today I want to talk about something that I've been wanting to talk about for a hot minute, ever since the beginning of time, basically, because it's something that fascinates me, something I care about, something that is all over, and I think it's something that is very, not exclusive to, but very involved in the gay community, the LGBT community, and that's not misogyny, that's also in the gay community, but monogamy versus polygamy. Which one's right? Which one's wrong? Which one do you lean towards? Let me know in the comments down below, and also feel free to let me know on Patreon as well too. So I want to start off with, my own personal thing, what I actually feel myself inside, in my heart, and my personal opinions on both. Alright, so basically, if you don't know, polygamy is basically it's you and a significant other allowing another person into your relationship in some regard. Whether that is sexually together or sexually separate, like your partner is allowed to have sex with other people, or you're allowed to have sex with other people. And this is given by either discussing about it, talking about it, and just shooting gossip in bed, being like, girl, whose booty you be scratching lately? And then they'll be like, whose booty am I not scratching? I'm like, hey. And some people just invite a third person. Some people invite a third person into the bedroom just to spice things up. They're sick of the same, booty hole every day, and just you know what? I've had this flavor already. I need something new. They want to have the whole smorgasbord out there. And I'm just like, yay, if that's your thing, you do you, boo-boo. I am not faulting you for that. And it's what some people like. Some people like to switch things up. And honestly, if it's helping your relationship, and also that's very important, if it's consensual between you both. Some people will agree to being in an open relationship because they're afraid of losing that person. But honestly, if you're not into it and you're just doing it to make the other person happy, then you shouldn't be in the relationship. I'm just saying. That's all I gotta say about that. And with monogamy, it's just you and another person just sexually involved with each other. And you guys only really care about each other, and you guys want to just keep growing with each other. You don't want another person involved. You don't want to share. And you just live your best lives together. And you guys go through a bunch of hardships and turmoils, but that's every couple and that's every relationship, and you guys just overcome it. And you know what? The important thing with monogamy is spicing things up every now and then, so things don't get boring and repetitive. And some people lean towards one way, and some people lean towards the other way. And this is what I always hear from both sides, constantly. Everybody always thinks they're right, 100%. It doesn't matter what opinion you have. It doesn't matter what the topic is. Everybody thinks that they're right and the other person's wrong. And let me tell you why I'm right by saying that. I always see videos and topics doing polygamy, just it's unnatural for men and women and just everyone, especially men, which we are designed and desired to fuck, to go out there and procreate. We need to fertilize the world, and it's unnatural. We are the only species that actually goes out there and couples up with one person. Who does that? No one. No animal, no man should ever just stay with one person. That's what polygamy says. Meanwhile, people who are 100% monogamous and say poo-poo on that people, they're always just it's monogamy is sacred, and monogamy just shows that you love and cherish that one person, and that you don't need another person involved. Monogamy is the way that actually represents who you are as a person and who you are as a couple, and that is the only person for you, and you are the only person for them, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's unique, and I don't think you need another person, because that's cheating, okay? You're just glorifying cheating. And this is my opinion on it, because I hear both sides all the time. I have friends who are both. I have friends who are into polygamy, and I have friends who are monogamous. And my whole thing with myself, and I'm just saying it for both of them, both in regards are wrong. Polygamy, who think polygamy is 100% human and that's what you should do, is wrong. People who are just monogamy is 100% human and that's the only way to show love is also wrong. Me, myself, I lie in I'm generally monogamous just because as a person, I don't desire another person when I'm with somebody. When I'm actually with somebody and I love them, I cherish them, that's the only person I really want. That's the only person I care about. That's the only person that I desire sexually. In general, I don't really care about sex that much. It's not really a thing I have. I'll talk about this more later with my sexuality. But I'm not really someone who really goes out and seeks sex. As I said before in the podcast before, I was someone that did, but that was because of outbursts of depression. And I would seek sex in order to feel validation for intimacy. Just I'm lonely, love me. Ah! But now that I don't have those issues anymore, I don't really desire sex. It's just sex is something that it's nice, it feels good, but it's not something I care about. But when I'm with somebody that I care about or love or want to be with, I want it all the time. I want to be on top of them. I want to be below them. I want to be under the sea. I want to do it behind a bush. I want to do it in the garden. I want to do it in the laundromat. I just want to do them nonstop, 24 hours. That's just how I am. Just as soon as I like that person, we get it on every day. That's it. Every 5 minutes, just on your dick. I don't care. Just you come home from work, just oh hey Andrew, what's up? I'm just oh hey, and it's not even closing the door. I don't even give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. That's just how I am when I'm with somebody. I don't know, as soon as I'm develop that intimate connection with somebody, that's it. That connection's there, and then that sexual tension, it just emits from my body, and it just comes out, and that's just how I am. So if I'm with somebody, that's the only person I'm having sex with. That's the only person I'm fucking. That's just how I am. And yeah, I've had hookups and stuff, and there's people I know I could have sexual relations with and I feel comfortable with, but when I'm with somebody and I actually care for them or love them, I'm just ooh, that's all I want. That's all that I need. That's just me. But again, like I said, that's just me. The reason why I think both sides are wrong, no matter what my personal beliefs is, I just want one person. I just want one person to be the father of my children. I just want to grow old with one person. I just want that one person. That's all I care about. And I would hope that they would want the same thing for me. And I would hope that they, only really care about me. And I would rather them go out and hoe out now before we even get together. I really care and love somebody right now. But we're not together, obviously, because here I am. But he wants to go out and hoe and have fun because he's in his 20s. So I'm just you do you, boo. You explore every flavor out there. But when you get back to me, that's it. End game. Nothing more. It me. Because he's also someone who believes highly in monogamy too. So he wouldn't come back to this smorgasbord until he gets every lick out there to get the flavors out. And as soon as it's out of the system, that ass is mine. But that's besides the point. The reason why I think both sides are wrong, and they just think that 100%, you have to be 100% this way or 100% that way, or which one side's right, one side's wrong, is no side is wrong at all. And that's what makes them both wrong. It varies on the person. Whether you personally feel like you can have someone in a relationship or have someone else be with you, and just whether you are comfortable with your significant other being sexually active with somebody else, or you're able to separate sex and love and just do your own things together, or you are someone who doesn't want any of that and just wants that one person, or someone like me. It's all based on who you are as a person and what your personal belief is and what you feel comfortable with. You can't force yourself to be something. You can't force yourself to be one way or the other, because relationships, love, and everything is complicated. And even if you are someone who's highly monogamous, or someone who is likes polygamy and likes to bring a third person in, it really just depends on who you are as a person, who they are as a person in your relationship, because that also changes as well too. I know people who were with one person for all their life, and then as soon as they got older, they're just you know what? Let's bring in a third person. Let's see how that goes. And they like it. Or there's you know what? I'm comfortable with my partner. We've been together forever. Let's just see what else is out there, because we're gonna die. We're just all gonna fucking die. So it's like, we might as well just see what else is out there before we fucking die. Ah. And look, everyone's different in every regard, so no one is right with just believing in 100% of one thing and 100% the other thing. Like, I won't say I'm like 100% open with things, because I know, at least at this point in my life now, or just who I am as a person, I don't feel comfortable, like, even having a threesome. I don't, at all. Like, I know, like, some people's dream, well, straight guys, that's their dream. For gay guys, it's like a normal Tuesday. It's funny how that works out, how, like, straight world and gay world is completely different. But, I just don't feel comfortable with it, or being involved. Like, even if I don't, like, I don't want to say don't care for the people, but even if it's, like, it's a couple and they're both attractive and I'm attracted to them, like, you know, they're aesthetically pleasing to me, I don't feel comfortable with having sex with them. I don't even like being touched half the time, so I'm just like, there's too much going on. There's too much involved. I just don't. Especially if, like, I like one of them and the other one's just there. It's weird to me. I would go watch. Honestly, if a couple's just like, hey, do you want to watch? I'd be like, okay. I'll bring the popcorn, I'll bring some lube. I'm just like, you know what? I'm set for the night. These are my plans. It's basically live action porn. I'm just like, wow. This VR it's real. It's aesthetic. It's actually coming into my life. It's coming. It's coming right at me. So, like, I'm someone who I don't threesome's not really a thing. Orgies, who's cleaning up that mess? I'm not. Who's hosting? Ain't nobody coming to my house. That was my first rule when I actually moved into my apartment. I'm just like, ain't nobody coming in my house, literally and figuratively. Like, my house, I have open as, like, my photography studio. Photography? Sure. I shoot them. That's it. I'm just going to shoot them with my camera. I'm not shooting them with anything else. I was like, no, ma'am. Not in my house. I go on a date, they're just like, oh, hey, you live alone? I'm like, nope, live with family. I don't live alone in this economy. Meanwhile, I'm just like, in my own apartment, living my best life. No one's coming to my house, no one's going to know where I live. No. That's besides the point. With like polygamy, like, I have friends who, like, you know, I have a friend who has been married for 22 years. His anniversary is today, and sometimes, yeah, they bring a third person into the room, or you know, he's also a photographer, and sometimes, you know what, shit happens with models, because models sometimes are, you know, up for anything, and just like down to just like party, and sometimes things happen, and it's completely consensual between all of them, and they have an arrangement that works for them. It's like, you know what, that's good for them. That's something they like. That's something that keeps them going. It's something that really spices up the relationship. That's fine. And I'm not saying monogamy is not capable of doing this. Obviously, I'm not, because, you know, I'm monogamous myself. But, like, it is important to, like, keep things, like, sexually, you know, stimulating. Like, trying different things, trying costumes, scenarios, BDSM, you know, local spanking. That goes a long way. It does. You might not think, oh man, that's wrong. How can someone fetishize this? This is abuse we use on children, and then someone does it on you. You're just like, wow, my life has changed. I'm a new woman. I can see the world differently now. So it's important to actually just keep your partner interested and be interested in your partner. And that's with, like, any relationship. And if you're somebody who is monogamous, you can't force yourself to want to be in a polygamous relationship or be in an open relationship because that it makes that other person happy, or you really love and really care about them, so you just want them to be happy, so you're going to force yourself to be in that just to satisfy themselves, because you won't be happy. Because just like the thought and just like everything with, like, your partner going out there having sex with somebody else, I know that makes me feel uncomfortable. It's not something I really like. Like, even if we're not together, and just like we're just kind of like talking, getting to know each other in that phase, and I know that they're dating other people, I'm gonna be paranoid as fuck. It's like, whose dick they on, whose booty hole they searching right now, how deep they going, when they coming back, why they not texting me? You know why they're not texting me? Because they're hoeing. Like I get my mindset, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. It just does. So I'm not someone who like can force myself to be in a polygamous relationship, depending on like the person I'm with. And same thing with someone who is someone who's open to an open relationship. They can't force themselves to be in a monogamous relationship because it's just not in their nature. It's not just how they are. It's just not how they're. Sometimes it's just not how they're wired. And like that will lead to lies, deceit, and like cheating. And I feel like cheating is the worst thing you can do because if it's not consensual and it's not open to the other person, it's basically lying. And the one thing that can turn off a couple or ruin a relationship is dishonesty, lying, and deceit. Like if you're not honest with your partner or you feel like you have to lie to them to protect their feelings, it's not going to work out. And as soon as someone lies like that, you just lose that trust for them. And that just turns you off so completely. I know it does for me. Like if someone lies to me, I always say, it's like, hey, if you're going to cheat on me, I'd rather you break up with me first. Yeah, it will hurt. I understand that. I accept that. But you know what? You do you, because I don't want you to cheat on me. I don't want you to lie to me. That's basically what I'm saying. And if it works out, it does. And if it doesn't, and you end up cheating on me, I'm just going to cut your dick off. It's going to happen. I'm just going to, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm just going to like get my knife, just slice it off in your sleep. Just like, I'm hanging this on my wall. Warning for next time. I'm going to have it like on a pike outside of my apartment. Just a warning for anyone else who gets with me. Just like, see him, he cheats. Now you know. Don't fuck with me. But that's just me. I mean, what do I know? I'm just a crazy girl. So you can't force yourself to really lean one way when you're really just want to do another thing. And lying is the worst thing that you can possibly do to a person, just because it's just that level of just deceit. It just kind of like, it just festers with you. And it's really hard to forgive a person when you catch them in a lie. Even if you love them, even if you care for them, if there's someone who, is just going to constantly lie to you, or you feel like you're going to constantly lie to that person in order to make things work, it's not going to work. It's not. And if you're someone who feels like you have to lie to yourself and say that you're happy in the situation you are, just to make them happy, it's not going to work. So you really have to find someone who has the same beliefs as you. But like I said before, it can change. Depending on the relationship or depending how you are with another person, because I was almost open to an open relationship previously. So like earlier June, I was like, let's go back in time right now. So like, about June 2016, I started talking to this guy, and we were friends, fast friends. He lived in Texas, I live here, but we talked like every day. We text each other, send each other memes, and it was great because he was like a nice person. He was cute, he was fun, he was a good guy. I wasn't looking for anything serious with him, but I was just like, you know what, we just talk and be friends. It was great because like he was talking to me like a person and make me feel right. Meanwhile, my ex at the time was just like texting me being like, girl, send me a picture of your booty hole real quick. Ooh, you know how much I want to eat that, like a gourmet dinner with like an all-you-can-eat buffet. And I'm just like, okay, so I get the best of both worlds. I'm just like, I can talk to him like a normal person. I can talk to my ex, all the nasty stuff. I'm just like, I'm getting the best of both worlds, putting together a perfect guy. It's great. So like 6 months later, things get more serious with the guy in Texas. And he comes to visit me in New York, and it's his first time in New York. We spend the whole time together. We spend a week together. I take a week off work. Things get more serious. We start doing things. I was like, oh, so this is where it's going. Okay, we're more than just friends now. Gotcha. He goes back to Texas, but I feel him pulling away a little bit. And you can tell by like communicating with him. And just like, you can tell in a relationship when like things are like going like a little south. So I'm like, okay, cool. So in my head, I'm thinking it's like, he's just like, he's busy because he's someone who believes in like, he doesn't like, or at least told me, like he doesn't like really like masturbating a lot. He's not really like highly sexual. So I'm like, okay, cool. And we never sexted or anything either. So I'm just like, okay, so I'm not really assuming anything. And I think he was on like a NoFap for like a long time. NoFap is basically when you don't touch yourself forever. I call it insanity. But hey, some people do it and they get magic powers out of it. I guess, okay, you do your satanic witchcraft and love yourself. Do it. So he was on that. So I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't really see anything by it. But at the same time, like, since we weren't really together and everything, like, I was still going on dates. Like, I met, like, another cool guy who was really nice. Like, we hung out, we did stuff. And then next time I saw him on Scruff, he instantly blocked me. And I'm just like, he remembers me. Oh, thanks. But anyway, it leads to me going to Texas to, like, be with him for a bit. And, yeah, I started to, developing serious feelings for me because me developing feelings takes at least 6 months to a year. Like, if you think, like, we're going to start talking on Tinder and then we're going to, like, fall in love next week, bitch, no, you got, like, 6 more months of consistency. It has to be consistent talking with great chemistry, and that's what will make me fall for you. Other than that, I don't know you. You're just another guy. We can be friends. Email me, snail mail me, catch you on MySpace. So I talked to this guy in Texas, and like, really cool. We're doing a lot of stuff. It's fun. And I really like him a lot. And I would even like to the point where I'm just like, now fuck my ex. I'm going to move on to something new. Just hop on this train because everything's bigger in Texas. Everything was bigger in Texas. I'm moving to Texas eventually. That's my goal. Anyway, yeah, so the last day I was there, he admitted that, he has been fucking around. He has been having sex. He has been, like, doing this with other people. He felt guilty for, like, talking to me and also having sex with other people. And I'm just like, it's fine. We're not together. But, what do you want from this? What do you want from me? What do you want for the outcome to be? He said he didn't know. We are in a sort of relationship. Like, he said that, like, he does care for me. He does want things to work. He even introduced me to his high school friends, and he wanted to introduce me to his parents. So it's like he was alluding to the fact that, like, he wanted a relationship. So I was like, okay. But at the same time, he was, like, staying away from relationships. I'm like, okay. Cool. Awesome. Don't know what you want. So I'm like, let's just be friends. So we spend one more day together. We do things one more time. On my way back from the at the airport. I text him when I was on the plane. I was like, we do have a sort of relationship. Let's see how things work. And I was willing to have, like, an open relationship. Like, I was really, like, alluding to it. And I was like, you know what? I live in New York. He lives in Texas. I'm realistic with the situation. If we both care for each other and we both really want this to work, for the time, I don't mind, him being with other people to satisfy him physically. And I'll be in New York, and I don't really want to, as soon as I care about somebody, I don't want to be with anybody else. So, like, I'm good. Until we figure out our living situation and figure out, like, what the next step is. Because, like, my job is remote, so I could just work remote there in Texas until I can get my shit together and, find a new job down there. Like, I already planned this all out. And then I never heard from him ever again. that was it. Like, after that, like, I get back, and as soon as I admit to him that I was like, we do have a sort of relationship. We can be just more than just friends. You know what? I care about you deeply, so, like, we can make it work. And that's it. I don't know. Last time I heard, he microdoses on shrooms and is a DJ. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Fuck me, right? Awesome. Great. Cool. So yeah, I was almost in an open relationship because things change over time. Depending on your living situations, depending on your relationships, and depending on how those people are, things change. So no one's 100% monogamous. No one's 100% into polygamy. It really just depends on who you are. I would prefer myself to be in a monogamous, I can't pronounce words, a monogamous relationship because I just feel comfortable that way. I feel, it's not because, like, I feel like that's the right way and, like, fuck anyone in open relationships, you fucking thoughts. You guys just want to fuck and I just want to find love. I'm better than all of you. No, I'm not like that at all. It's something I'm comfortable with as a person, something I personally feel. What you do, what you feel comfortable with is completely up to you and completely your thing. You can't force somebody to feel the same way you do. You can't force yourself to feel another way just to be with some person. You just really have to focus on yourself and what you want in a relationship. So I know what I'm seeking already. And some people, and yeah, there are some people who use, the idea of open relationships as, like, a whole fucking excuse just to fuck everyone else. And it's crazy. It's like they only want to, some people, and not everyone, This is not everyone. I'm just talking about some people. Some people just want to stick with one person just so they have that emotional intimacy, even if they don't really like each other that much or care that much for each other, or it's like, but you know, they're cool with each other. They like having sex and they like hanging out. So they're like, oh my god, we're dating, we're in love. Like, this is a couple. Like, we're fucking in love. They're not in love. And they're just like, we're in love, but like, we are in an open relationship, so we can like fuck everybody. And they fuck they fuck everybody. And then they just use their, like, you know, companionship, I'll call it that, as basically a forefront as a mean to show, like, love and affection, just like, oh, see, we're happy together, we love each other. Meanwhile, they're never around each other, never hanging out, and they're always fucking everybody else and recording on OnlyFans. So there are people who like use that as a whole excuse, and they use the whole excuse that, you know, like, monogamy is just part of the heteronormative view on society and like how relationships should be, when really, like, there's more than like what there's more. There's more out there in the LGBTQ community. We don't have to follow the heteronormative. We can do our own thing, which is true. We can do our own thing, but you can't use monogamy as a heteronormative excuse. It's not an excuse. You can't use like an open relationship as an excuse to be like different from the heteronormative. You just have to do what you feel comfortable with. Like, if you don't really want to be with somebody and you're just tagging along with them, just like as a front, just so you can fuck other people, just because you actually feel lonely when you fuck around, then don't do it. That's it. It's like, it's plain and simple. Like, if you're just like fucking around and still feel that loneliness, then find something that makes you happy. Find someone who makes you happy. You don't need to go fuck around. And same thing if you're like in a monogamous relationship and you just have that one person, just because you feel alone and you're desperate and you're clinging onto them just because they're there and they're safe. You don't want to be with someone because they're safe. You don't want to be with somebody just because they make you feel safe or, you know, you feel comfortable. You want to be with someone who makes you feel excited, makes you feel like you want to come home. And yeah, I'm not talking about the honeymoon phase, because the honeymoon phase, that phases. That it does. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes that doesn't go away, and some people just are always in the honeymoon phase. I'm that annoying fuck who always is in the honeymoon phase, even if that other person's not. But it's somebody that you know you can rely on, someone you just feel connected with, and somebody you're excited to see. Like, even in like the most subtle ways. Like, eventually a relationship just becomes natural. Like, it's not something that's just like, oh my god, I get to see him. I get to see him when he comes home. I can't wait to see him. Like, eventually it becomes natural. It's like owning like an arm. Like, you don't really notice it, but you appreciate that it's there, and you definitely would notice if it's missing. So that's what basically a relationship becomes. It becomes an appendage of yourself. And that's how it should feel. It should just feel like something natural and something organic and something that just makes you feel alive and feels like another part of yourself. It feels like natural in your life and something that makes you feel complete. If you're just with somebody just to like have somebody, then you should not be with somebody. You need to work on yourself, because if you're not happy with yourself and you're not happy being alone, then you shouldn't be in a relationship. Hands down. You should be in a relationship. You shouldn't go out like seeking like sex from other people just to like fuck around and feel validated for something. No. Work on yourself first and then fuck everybody in the sea. That's all I'm saying. Or just work on yourself and then learn to be with somebody. Like, I know right now, like, I worked on myself hard. I really like try to like be a good person. I really am a mindset where I'm where I want to be in life for the most part. Like, I'm happy. I have a good career. Well, I have a career. It doesn't pay well, but it's a career. My freelance business is going well. I have consistent clients that come in, so I have like additional income. I have you guys to talk to. I have, I got a PS4. The fuck? My life is great right now. But I know, like, I'm not that emotionally stable enough right now to throw myself into a relationship. So that's not something I'm like seeking right now, because I do have feelings still, you know, lingering on from my last relationship that I need to deal with first before I'm ready to actually move on. And I do have a fear of, you know, still of like being hurt, because like, you know, I do put trust into people that take advantage of me. So I'm learning to just cope with that. And right now, I'm just happy alone. Like, I don't need to go out there and have sex to feel validated. I don't need to go out there and throw myself into a relationship just to feel somebody on me or just like to have somebody. Right now, I'm at a good place by myself. If I wanted to have sex, I could. And if I wanted to be in a relationship, I'd be looking for one for the right reasons. Regardless of what you personally believe in, you just have to do what feels natural to you. And if you just want to be one person for the rest, and if you want to be with one person for, I can't speak. You just have to do what feels natural to you. And if you want to be with one person and just that one person for the rest of your life, and you just see them and you're just like, you know what, that's the person I want to be with, that's the person I want to have kids with, that's the only like booty hole I want to taste for the rest of my life, that's fine. That's me. That's how I feel. But if you're somebody who is like interested in an open relationship and wants to be with that one person because they make you feel, it feels like a natural relationship. It's someone that you see as a partner, and you also are interested in, you know, being physically stimulated by other people and expressing yourself physically with other people, that's fine too. Just keep it consensual. Have the other person's interest in mind, and just like do what feels right to both of you. Because when you are doing something like that, it's not just about you and how you feel, it's also about the other person. So also keep that mindset in check. And just be safe. Just be safe. Just be safe, kids. Just all I'm saying. So basically, what I'm saying with all this whole thing, no one's 100% right. No one's 100% one way or the other. And human nature, everyone always uses the excuses that animals are this way and that way. Animals in certain breeds and different species act differently. And that's what you have to account for with human beings, because we're animals too. Some animals and some humans are monogamous, and they have that one partner for life. Some other people, people and some animals have open relationships or don't have relationships, and they just like the fuck. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them, and that's something that they can do. No one's the same. Absolutely no one. I don't care what TED Talk you see where some gay is just like, I did see this. Like, some gay is just like, I had 4 marriages, unhappy, monogamous, and was like, you know what? This isn't the way of life. This isn't how things should be. This is not how. And I had an open relationship, and like that is something natural. That's something that's right, and monogamy is a sin. I'm just like, that's what's right for you. That was right for your relationships. And she's just like, I've cheated so many times in relationships because I wasn't happy, because it's not in your nature. You can't talk for everyone. Like, you can't talk for everyone, whether you're monogamous or into polygamy or open relationships, because you're not everyone. You're you. That's all I'm saying. Like, you can't say one way is right or one way is wrong, because that's not true, and that's no way is unnatural. They're both completely natural. It's just what works best for you. And if you're someone who wants an open relationship, that's fine. If you're someone who wants one person, that's fine. Just don't be with somebody as a safety net just so you don't feel lonely. Like, if you're not with that person because of that person, like because that person makes you happy, or you can rely on that person, or that person is like an extension of yourself, and you're just with them because they are a person that exists in the world and you're alone, don't be with them. Don't do it. They're not right for you, and you're just wasting everybody's time. You're wasting your own time. Work on yourself, then do everything else. Anyway, that's news from Dr. Andrew. I should get a doctorate. I should get a doctorate. Guys, I'm a doctor now. Imagine that. I want to give myself a doctorate. Going back to school, paying those loans, fuck that. Give me a scholarship, then maybe we'll talk about it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching and also listening to my podcast. I love you guys. My video stopped halfway through, so I had to actually do a quick edit for this. My bad. Anyway, guys, thank you for subscribing to my Patreon. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. I love you. I will make love to you. I won't. I think I'm going to talk about my sexuality soon too, because I feel like I want to address more of that. I know a lot of people are just like, he's fucking gay. Just look at the thumb. My fucking voice is high pitched as fuck. Like, it's higher than this room. It's yes and no on the gayness. So we'll talk about that. And also leave comments on what you want me to talk about in future videos. I'm excited to do this podcast. I really like it. It's fun. And I don't shut up. So this is perfect for me. Also, let me know if you want me to like reach out and like bring people onto this nonsense, because I'm always down for that. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Stay awesome. I don't know what this is. Alright. Bye.